It is so rich, it's smooth, and it's kind of like a buttery kind of, and it's caramel, and it's absolutely perfect.
Good morning, my beautiful people. I hope that you are feeling happy and healthy, because I'm personally feeling like trash. Today I woke up feeling like an absolute balloon, and I just feel like trash, and I just want to stay in bed all day and just curl up with a nice cup of tea and just eat my weight in chocolate. And you know what? Today I'm not going to do that. Today I'd actually planned not to film anything, so super spontaneous. I decided, because I'm craving chocolate so much, how about I just make a really nice raw vegan brownie. And because I love filming so much and I love to bring you guys along on my own personal fitness and food adventure towards reaching my goal physique, I thought it would be a really fun idea to just bring you guys along into my kitchen and while I actually make this raw vegan brownie. So it's super spontaneous. Normally I have multiple cameras with me, but today I'm only having one. So you just get a clear shot of what I'm doing, and it's gonna be so exciting. And I'm really excited to make this because I could really use a lot of chocolate right now and comfort food that's gonna make me feel so much better, because I'm on my period and I just feel tired and I feel exhausted and I feel dizzy and I feel nauseous, and I can't stand the smell of eggs right now, and I can't stand the smell of salmon right now, and I just don't feel like working out. Like I said, I just feel like watching just Disney Channel Plus and eating. So that's what we're gonna do today. So the reason that I am making a raw vegan brownie is because, first of all, I absolutely love raw vegan desserts. I think they're so tasty, they're so yummy, and I can feel myself salivating in my own mouth while I'm talking about it, because I just love them so much. Second reason is because I don't have a real proper oven. I do have a kind of air fryer little thingy, my little UFO, and in that you can make little cookies, for example, but then you do have to flip them halfway through to make sure that they are evenly cooked on both sides. And since I'm really in the mood to make a really nice chocolatey and delicious and yummy brownie, that's not gonna happen today. So therefore I am gonna make a vegan version of it, so that way I don't have to be afraid of raw eggs, for example, in it. As again, because we're not gonna cook it. So therefore it is gonna go into the fridge behind me, and then as the week goes along, I'm just gonna eat little bites from it. Knowing myself, I'll probably not be eating the whole thing at once, because this is gonna be overkill, that's gonna be way too much. So I'm just gonna eat like little bit by little bit, and then it's just gonna be gone. So for this raw vegan brownie, what you're gonna need is a whole bunch of nuts and a whole bunch of medjool dates I'm gonna be using. I'm also gonna be using some agave syrup, some cinnamon, some salt, some coconut oil, and I'm gonna be using my beautiful NutriBullet to blend it all together into one beautiful batter. And because today is very much unplanned, so this is all I had in my pantry, so use whatever you have available and whatever you have on hand, because this recipe is super versatile. You can swap everything around. For example, if you don't have agave syrup, just use some honey, even though it's not vegan anymore. Then you can also just use some coconut syrup, for example. Use whatever you have available. You can really swap everything around. These nuts, for example, I have some walnuts, and then I have some assorted nuts. So these assortment of nuts, there are some peanuts in it, cashew nuts, walnuts. Oh no, wait, there's no walnuts. Got hazelnuts in there. I got macadamia nuts, and it's just gonna be a nice fun party. So let's start with the first step, and that is rolling up our sleeves. Oh, by the way, also wash your hands if you haven't done so yet. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our NutriBullet cup, and then we're gonna take about 1 cup of, no, let's do half a cup of walnuts and half a cup of the assorted nut mix. And then we're gonna blitz it up in the NutriBullet until it's like nice and powdery. I'm gonna take half a cup of, oops, wait. Half a cup of walnuts, half a cup of assorted nuts. There we go. And then all the extra little bits also go in there. So then we're gonna go put the lid on this, and then I'm gonna blitz it until it's nice and fine. I like to do though is take it out, shake it a little bit, and then go back in. Okay, I think that's good. So let's unscrew it. Ooh, going everywhere. Oh, that smells so good already. There's some peanuts in there. I just really love that smell. So now we're gonna put it in our bowl. To be honest, I think I might need to make some more. So I'm gonna make that batch all over again. Yay. So what I just really love about this today though, what I just really need is just doing some cooking as we go. And I'm just really enjoying this actually, to be honest. This is exactly what I need right now. It's just some going along with it. So there we go. So now we have, in total, we have 1.5 cups of walnuts, and we have about 1.25 cups of like assorted nuts. So let's put that in the food processor again. Oh, by the way, all of these nuts that I'm using today, they are all unsalted. Because of course we don't want it to make it too crazy salty. There we go. Let's add that in there. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. That looks so nice already. Oh, and it smells so good. There's like a little bit of a smell of like peanuts in there, and it has like some nice almond smell and cashew nuts, and I just know this is already gonna be like amazing. It's gonna taste so good. Next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take, let me have a look, about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. So I got my cinnamon here, because I personally just really love the taste of cinnamon. I think cinnamon is so yummy. So we're gonna add that in there, 2 tablespoons. Then we're gonna do a nice pinch of salt. So I love adding salt to all of my salty and sweet meals as well. Up next, what we're gonna be adding is maybe a little bit of agave syrup. For this, let's maybe start by using about 2 tablespoons. And then we can add more later while we're tasting. Just gonna use this spoon to like mix all of this up. Oh, that smells so nice. I really wish you guys could smell this. So make sure that you make it so that you can smell it, because it smells amazing. So just mixing all of the ingredients together. Becoming nice and sticky, which I'm happy with. Oh, that tastes really good already. Up next, we're gonna be needing some cacao powder. For this, I'm gonna start by, I think, adding about, let's do about 4 tablespoons heaped once, because it is of course gonna be a raw vegan brownie. Brownie implying that there's gonna be a lot of chocolate in it. So let's add a lot of cacao powder. Oh, I just love the smell of cacao powder. I think it's such a beautiful smell. I really love it. I also really love making chocolate milk right now in the evening, and like making like a proper chocolate milk with like cacao powder and some almond milk I really love to use. And then I also have a little bit of honey in there that I put in there, or some agave syrup, about just like 1 teaspoon, like not too much, because I just really love the bitterness of raw cacao. And also raw cacao has a lot of antioxidants, so it's actually really good for you, raw cacao powder. And it is exactly what I could use right now. Okay, so now that we've mixed it all together and it looks like this, and absolutely yummy, and it tastes really good. So make sure always when you bake or when you cook, taste it. It just tastes really yummy. It tastes really like the cacao just kind of punches you in the face, and I really love that about it. There's a little bit of like a hint of cinnamon in there. It's not too sweet as well, which I also really love, because we're gonna make a really beautiful topping on it with some dates, and that is gonna be super sweet. So therefore, I'm really happy that we keep the base. We don't make it too sweet, because otherwise it's gonna be sweetness overload. And of course it's a brownie, so I really wanna make sure that you really get that cacao flavor, because that's very important. And also, of course, I really love it because it's really nice and nutty. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, nice being nutty, why don't I add a little bit of protein powder, because then it becomes like a protein brownie. Or you can add a little bit of flax seed, because flax seeds have a really beautiful nutty flavor. And also flax seeds, they also they're very high in a whole bunch of like vitamins and minerals, but also they're very high in protein. So the vegan protein powder I really love to use whenever I bake or make something is the Fit Green protein powder. And this is not sponsored, by the way, I just really love their product. I get it in the chocolate flavor. I think personally that it's the yummiest one. And what I really love about this product is that besides being vegan, it's also gluten-free and it's soy-free because it's made from pea protein. So I think we're gonna be adding about one scoop. So let's add 1 scoop. And what this is gonna do, because it is chocolate flavor, it's gonna add to that beautiful chocolateness that I'm looking for in this brownie. Then I'm also gonna take some flax seeds, and I think I'm gonna be adding about half a cup, or maybe let's just do a quarter cup. So let's add about quarter cup of flax seeds in there. So now I'm noticing that because of the protein powder that I just put in there, it's a little bit dry. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of almond milk. The way I'm gonna be adding it, I'm just gonna do like a little bit by a little bit, so that way I don't overdo it. So I'm just gonna add a bit, and I'm gonna mix this up. Oh, the smell is so good. I just really love it. Oh, this is gonna be so yummy. So it's becoming super nice and sticky now. So it's almost actually becoming like brownie batter. I just don't wanna make it too wet though, but I think I'm gonna be needing like a little bit more. Go a little bit more. I did notice though that like it really depends the type of protein powder that you use whenever you do like a raw vegan dessert like this one, because some protein powder, they are very dry and they make the mixture very dry, and I've noticed that other protein powders, they don't really do that. So now for the best part, let's have a little taste. Oh, whoa. Oh, that is so yummy. Oh, that's so tasty. The funniest thing is that right now, because we're all in quarantine, everybody's stuck at home, and whenever I do a cooking project, normally with like the leftovers that I have, I bring them to work with me, and so many people at work always give me so many compliments because they're really in love with like the recipes and all of the food that I make, because everything's like healthy and raw vegan and all of that stuff. So it's kind of like guilt-free as well. Right now, a lot of my colleagues have actually approached me and have actually asked me if I could send them some of my food because they're missing out on so many treats that I'm making. So actually, while I'm making this right now, I just feel really bad for my colleagues who are all gonna miss out on this because it's gonna be so yummy and so tasty. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this quickly aside, and I'm gonna get out a little container in which we're gonna put some parchment paper to then put in the brownie so it can go into the fridge while we work on the topping. So we're gonna start with 1 container, and these containers, they're my favorite containers. I've talked about them so many times. I feel like every single time I make a raw vegan dessert, I take out one of these containers because they're beautiful and I love them so much. They're from IKEA, they're the 1 liter size, and they are glass, so they're also good for the environment. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut it into like slices so that way I can place it inside the container. So I'm just gonna cut it in half. Boop. That wasn't really straight, but well, yeah, nobody cares. I'm the only one here. Okay, perfect. So I made sure that the sides of the parchment paper are a little bit up so that way it doesn't really stick to the sides. Okay, so now I'm gonna be adding my mixture. Let me just have a look how much I'm actually gonna add. So let me start by about half of it. You know what, I actually think I'm just gonna put the whole batter in one. Okay, let's move on to the next step, and that is making the toppings. So I'm gonna be using these beautiful bejeweled dates that I got, and they're super tasty and yummy, and they're so perfect. They're really nice and juicy. If you can only get dried dates, make sure that you soak them in a little bit of hot water, probably when you're gonna start making this, so before you even make the batter, so that way they can come nice and juicy again and soak up all of that water before you're gonna be using it to make the topping. So you can use a knife for this, but to be honest, I think I'm just gonna use my hands. And I'm going to dip it, I think about maybe 5 or 6 dates I'm gonna start with. And then I'm just gonna taste it from there and just see. 3, 4, and then we get 5. I just love dates so much. They're so beautiful and they make anything that you use with them, it makes it immediately just gives it a beautiful caramel flavor. And I just really love dates for that purpose, is that they're just so yummy. Also, what's really nice is like little snacks that you take a date and you put a little bit of skyr like in it, because then it becomes like super fresh, and then the sweetness of the date is like a beautiful like balance, kind of like a party in your mouth, literally. Okay, so now from the dates that we have, we're gonna be adding a little bit of coconut oil in there. So this coconut oil, you can melt it in advance, but I don't think I'm gonna melt it because right now in Holland it's quite warm. So I think I actually don't have to melt it. So for this, I think I'm gonna start with about 2 tablespoons. And then just like the dates, I'm just gonna taste it and I'm just gonna see how it works. So why the coconut oil is such an important step to use for the topping, it's because the coconut oil, when it's gonna harden up, it's gonna form like a nice kind of caramel solid layer that you're gonna need. Otherwise, if you, for example, just use dates together with, for example, almond milk, then it's gonna be super runny. So the coconut oil really kind of binds it together and hardens it, so you have a beautiful layer. Okay, next what we're gonna use a little pinch of salt. It's gonna go in there. And then, because I want it to be kind of like a caramel chocolatey ganache, because again, I'm making a brownie and I want that chocolate satisfaction. So I think I'm gonna be using maybe about 2 tablespoons of raw cacao powder. And as with all the other ingredients that we have added in here, let's just taste it and then see what we need to add a little bit more. So because right now the mixture is gonna be a little bit difficult to blend up and I don't wanna break my NutriBullet. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of almond milk, just to make it a little bit easier to blend everything up. So now I've added about 1/4 cup of almond milk, and I'm gonna put the lid on it and then I'm gonna blitz it up. Okay, so my NutriBullet got a little bit stuck because it was too dry. So let's add, oh, that looks so beautiful though. Let's add a little bit more of almond milk. Just adding about 1 tablespoon now of almond milk, and let's blitz it up again. Okay, let's open it up and see what we have here. Let's quickly taste it to see if it's up to the standards that we want it to be. Oh, whoa. That is beautiful. It is so rich, it's smooth, and it's kind of like a buttery kind of, and it's caramel, and it's absolutely perfect. It's exactly what I need. So now let's take out the batter from the fridge, and then we're gonna be spreading the ganache on top of it. Okay, I've finished spreading all of the topping on top of the brownie batter. So now I'm gonna put it back into the fridge for I think about 4 hours, if I'm able to be honest, because it's so yummy, it's so tasty, I cannot wait to eat it. So I'm just gonna quickly put it in the fridge. I'm gonna probably watch a movie, maybe take a nap, maybe go for a walk outside. We're gonna see. We're gonna take it nice and chill. And then once it's nicely rested, I'll check in back with you guys. So I just woke up from the most glorious nap ever, which I really needed, and I'm so happy I took it. And the nice brownie is right now ready to be eaten. But before I cut it and show you guys the amazing result, because it looks so yummy, I quickly wanted to take a moment to thank you guys so much for watching, and also tell you about a very interesting, cool feature on my YouTube channel. And that is that if you hit the subscribe button and the bell button, you get a notification every single time I post a new video. I know, so exciting, right? And you know what's even crazier? If you give me big thumbs up, then I know that you guys like this kind of videos, so that every single time I get my period, I make a new brownie for you guys. How about that? Okay, so let's stop the craziness right now and let's get into chopping up this beautiful brownie and showing it to you guys, so that also I can eat it.